As a kid, my grandmother actually had breast cancer when she was in her 60s. And then a couple years ago, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, again, kind of older age stage of life. So I knew that there was family history of breast cancer, but didn't feel like it was something I really necessarily needed to worry about at this point in life. This last fall, I was at an event actually hosted by St. Alphonsus, and they had the mammogram bus there as part of their kind of breast cancer awareness for October. So after the luncheon, I realized I had been delinquent in getting my mammogram done. I had gotten my first one in 2020 and then missed 2021. So it had been 2 years since I'd had my first one. So I got on the bus and they did the mammogram procedure there, and never expected to get any follow-up phone call saying there was something more that they needed to do. Just a day or two later, they called and said that there was something in the mammogram that they wished to have a little bit more information about. So they wanted to do an ultrasound. So we did the ultrasound piece. That showed that there was something that needed to be biopsied. So through the biopsy, they identified that it was breast cancer, and almost immediately got me scheduled with a surgeon through St. Al's. So I had surgery on December 13th, and then followed that with radiation in January and February. And now I'm just on kind of maintenance mode of keeping track of things and making sure that I'm staying on top of my mammograms and having MRIs interspersed within the schedule to just make sure that everything's being watched closely and that there isn't anything there.
My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1994, and at that point in time, the treatment process was a mastectomy with 26 weeks of chemo and probably, I think, another 22 or 24 weeks of radiation. After she finished all of her treatment, she had about a year, and then it came back heavily and went right into metastasized to her bones, and so she passed away in October of 1996. I had missed my mammogram last March of 2022. So in December, talked with the rest of our management team, and we all decided we probably needed to get our mammograms because we were late. And so got a mammogram in December, December 15th. December 19th found out that it was breast cancer. Luckily, they found it early. And the beauty of my story and this journey is I went ahead and did the 3D tomography. I know from working here the benefits of that, and I know that a lot of women don't choose 3D because they think of the extra cost that could be out of pocket. It is so worth it. My images were so clean from the 3D tomography that when I ended up in the surgeon's office, they didn't have to do an MRI. They could just use my images to move forward with my lumpectomy. 80% of the breast cancers diagnosed are not hereditary, and so you got to remember that just because it's not in your family doesn't mean it won't happen to you. So get your mammogram. That's what I'm just going to say, and stay on top of it.
The Mammo Bus is a great resource in the community, and if you see it out in the community, just stop and get on it. Getting on the bus that day and getting the mammogram taken care of definitely saved my life, and it caught cancer cells that were growing at a much earlier stage than if I had waited.
So I'm out in the garage and I come across this box, and out came my mom's diary from when she was going through her treatment. It was such a sobering time. I read it and came away thinking, I am so blessed. If my mom was alive today, it would be different, and her care would be different. So we've come a long way.